So today's kind of a strange day for me to be making a video that I'm planning on sharing later on my Facebook or with my friends on my blog, because I'm having a bad day. I'm just going to put it out there and be honest. I just felt led to make a video of a day that wasn't so good. Because sometimes we read people's blogs, we read their Facebook, we read their articles, we listen to them preach sermons, and we really can't imagine that they've had some of the kind of days that we've had. And I just want to let you know, today has been a hurtful day, a day of rejection, a day of pain, a day of disappointment, a day of unpredictability, a day of so many things, and it's not gotten any better. And here I sit tonight still feeling all those feelings. And by now you might be saying, why in the world did you tape this? And why in the world are you going to save it to show it to people? Because I feel led to tell you about the response. As I've just been going through this day, which has not been easy, I have just felt the Lord speak to me as He has done before, but once again, I feel Him so strongly speaking to me that Christian maturity, spiritual maturity, is not about our age. It's all about our actions and our reactions and our responses to things. And I've just felt the Lord speak to me today saying, Deanna, your response to this, your response means everything. It determines your future. It determines where you're headed next. It determines where I take you. It determines the level, the depth that you're going to go to. It determines the next level for you. And so I want to have the right response. I want to have the right reaction. I so want that. I was reading Twitter today, and a friend of mine had posted that we need to be careful because the disappointments that we face can literally cause us to start to despise our calling. And I have to be honest with you, my friends, there have been times where I have thought, Lord, why would you ever call me to something where I also experience such disappointment? Don't you care, Lord? Don't you care? I know the truth. I know today that He does care. And I know that I have to guard my heart against becoming bitter, against having a wrong kind of anger. We know that the Bible tells us in our anger, do not sin. So all anger is not necessarily wrong, but some anger is. And I need to guard my heart against becoming angry, becoming bitter, allowing it to eat away at me when I face disappointments in what I feel God has actually called me to do. And my friend, I just want to share with you today that there's calling on your life. And be careful that you don't allow the disappointments that you face in the journey of that calling to make you start despising what God has called you to do. Live in His presence. I'm doing that tonight. I'm going to be spending a couple hours with the Lord and just allowing Him to speak to me, realizing that His thoughts are higher than mine. And you know what? I need to get His mind tonight. I need to just get in with God in that secret place and allow Him to speak with me. I'm choosing to respond by getting closer to Him. And I'm choosing to respond by being filled with love. I'm choosing to respond by walking in peace. I'm choosing to respond by complete surrender to Him. I also felt the Lord speak to me. Why am I sharing what I'm feeling the Lord speak to me yesterday, today? Because I want to share with you the process of what it looks like for a person of faith to go through hard things and how you kind of process that in your mind. I was praying about it yesterday as well as some things were unfolding, and I felt the Lord speak to me, Deanna, there is no failure in a surrendered life. No failure. No failure in a surrendered life. A life surrendered to God. As long as I stay surrendered to Him, I am a success. As long as you stay surrendered to Him, you are a success. Whoever wants to find their life has to lose it first and lay it down at His feet. Take up our cross, deny ourselves, and lay our desires and our dreams at His feet and allow Him to unfold things in His perfect timing and in His will. So, my friends, I care about you today. I want you to know that even in the feelings that I'm experiencing tonight, I'm being reminded that my friends all over the world are facing struggles and are facing disappointments and perhaps the death of dreams tonight. And I want to just wrap my arms around you as well in prayer and join with you tonight to believe that God will just speak peace to your spirit and show you the next step. I love you all and just wanted to kind of let you in on this process and believe in great things for your life. Love you. So it's a couple hours later and it's bedtime, as you might be able to guess. I'm just keeping it real and continuing to work through the emotions that I've been feeling today. So I wanted to bring you along on this process. A couple hours later, I have gone through what I call the 4 steps. The 4 steps were given to me by a Christian counselor some time ago. It's really helped me a lot. I shared it on my blog just a few months ago, and these are really valuable. The first one is that you define the emotion that you're feeling, and you pinpoint exactly what it is, and also the next step would be to think about the first time that you ever felt that emotion. And then the third step would be to uncover any lie that you're believing about yourself due to that emotion or due to what you went through in the past. And the fourth step is to invite Jesus into that place of pain, to comfort, to heal, to minister, to deliver. And so I've just been going through that process. I felt led for some reason tonight to just do all that out loud. Sometimes I just do it quietly. Sometimes I journal it. Sometimes I just write it out. I don't necessarily speak anything. But tonight I just felt directed to get by myself and spend this time with God and talk to Him out loud and go through those 4 steps. And that process really helped me a lot tonight. The circumstances haven't gotten better, and that's one important thing to note here, that a lot of times, we can go through things like this, and it might just not be an evening. It might take months, or sometimes it even takes longer than that we're working through a process of disappointment. But I just encourage you, don't allow the disappointments of this day to cause you to despise what God has called you to do. And I'm certainly not going to do that. I'm going to respond in the right way, because I know that my response determines my future, and your response determines your future too. So here's to maturity. Well, it's morning, and I'm still just here keeping it real. I'm having my morning cup of tea here, and just in the Word and in prayer this morning for a while. And I had a great night of sleep because I asked the Lord for that, and He was faithful to give me a peaceful night of sleep. But when I woke up this morning, I was once again faced with the reality of the disappointment that I'm dealing with this morning. And ironically, I opened up my Bible, and where I'm at in the Word this morning was, He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. And then it goes on to say that He will be faithful to complete it on the day that Jesus Christ returns. And I kind of chuckled to myself. I was like, I want this before Jesus Christ returns. I don't want this thing that I'm waiting for to come. I don't want this to be rectified. I don't want this to be restored. I don't want this to be mended. I don't want this to be taken care of on the day that Jesus Christ returns. I'm sort of impatient, and I'm wanting what I want now. And God is just dealing with me to be patient, and to know that everything is in His timing. And He reminds me of one of my favorite scriptures as well, Galatians 6:9, where it says, "Do not be weary in well-doing, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you don't give up." Or another version says, "if you faint not." So the thing I have problems with many times in my life is the part that says at the proper time. Because of course my proper time is when I think my proper time is, but it's different than what God thinks many times. So just a word to you, my friends, don't be weary in well-doing, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you faint not. And many of you are, I'm sure, on this journey with me of trusting God with the time, trusting God for the time and the season that He desires to do things in your life. So I'm choosing to do that. My response, my reaction this morning is, Lord, I trust You completely with the timing of this thing. So here I go, off to have another cup of tea, and I'm sure I might have 2 or 3 this morning by the time it's all over with, as I just spend time with Him and get His mind on things, because once again, His ways are higher than mine, and His thoughts are different from mine. Well, I'm back, and I'm all cleaned up, as you can see, and some of you might be saying, praise the Lord, we can't believe that Deanna dared to just roll out of bed and make those videos without any makeup on and stuff like that. So some of you might be really grateful. I might have scared you a little bit there, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm back, and I've cleaned up and showered after working out for a while, for about half an hour, and let me tell you, it felt great. I want to just encourage you about the routine. Not a routine as in getting into a rut, but it's really important when we go through times that are hard to stay with a good routine, a positive routine, a set of habits that will keep us on course, because many times when we go through something hard, we just don't want to get out of bed, and we just don't want to do the things that are good for us. And last night I really prayed that the Lord would help me to sleep and just to have peace, and He did. I got 8 hours of sleep. I'm so glad to say that. And then moved on to waking up this morning to have my few cups of tea and my time with the Lord, and then I worked out. And just working out and doing what I knew was good for me just got the tension out of my body, helped me to clear my mind. That is just so good for you, not just when you're going through hard times, but all the time, every day. And so I want to encourage you with that. I was reminded of Psalm 27:14, where it says, wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart, wait for the Lord. And part of waiting is doing what we know to do, doing what is right, doing what's good for us. And so it's important to persevere like that through these times, because what do we want to accomplish by persevering? I was reminded of James 1, starting with verse 2, where it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. I told you before, I want to be a mature believer. I know that maturity has to do with my actions, my reactions, and my responses. So my response today, even though I'm still dealing with the same set of circumstances, my response is to stick with what I know is good and what I know is right. And to also continue to look to Him, because He is the solid rock. On Christ, the solid rock, I stand. All other ground, all other things in my life are sinking sand, but He is my solid rock. So continue, my friend, continue to stay the course. Wait for the Lord. Be patient. Be steadfast. Wait for the Lord, and be of good courage. Love you.